Welcome to the Create a Life You Love podcast, the go-to podcast for people who are called to make a positive impact through the power of coaching. You'll hear encouraging stories from coaches sharing their journeys and their lessons learned along the way, tips from top experts who help coaches thrive in their life and their business, and so much more. So if you're ready to create a business and a life of impact that you love, let's get started. Hello, welcome to part 2 of this little 2-part episode. I hope you really enjoyed part 1. If you haven't listened to it yet, go back to the episode right before this one and check it out, and then come back here and listen to part 2. So enjoy. So I kind of got to dive into, some people may have heard me say I was a neuro coach or seen it on one of the promotional materials. I've been like, what is that? So I had the opportunity to share a little bit about that. And so another thing they may have heard about either earlier in the introduction or on some of the promotional materials is that you're a quantum human design specialist. So tell us a little bit about what that means, how you got started with it, all the good things.
Absolutely. So I am a self-help kind of junkie. I think I inherited that gene from my mother. I remember growing up, she had all of the self-improvement books always. And I continued the tradition. And I've also always been one of those people that loves kind of the MBTI, quizzes, the Enneagram, anything, the Gallup Strengths Finders, anything I can kind of latch onto that illuminates my strengths and, and how I can develop those. Oh, I'm all over it. So when I essentially, I went through a massive burnout about, it's probably now 3 years ago. And I, of course, a bit like you, Chantal, just complete, just feeling like a complete and utter failure. The dumpster fire, yeah, totally describes the place that I was in at that time. But I was still really reaching out, looking for community, looking for ways to improve myself, always working on developing and figuring out how I could pull myself out of this hole. And one of the communities that I had connected into, everyone was, of course, identifying themselves with these weird terms and numbers. And I was like, what in the world are they talking about? Everyone's, I'm a 4-1 projector, I'm a 1-3 generator, I'm a 5-1 manifester. I'm like, what are they talking about? So I did a cursory Google search, and lo and behold, I found human design. It was like, whoa, lightning bolts. And I found, I immediately dove in and started my learning journey. Again, a voracious appetite for learning right here. So I jumped in, I found essentially the founder of human design. I found his school, and I took my my initial course, Living Your Design, through that certification program. And they have in that particular human design school, they have this kind of rule or regulation, or this sort of, I don't know what you want to call it, but their mindset is that it takes 7 years for you to become a human design consultant or analyst, as they call them. And I was like, yeah, no, I could not possibly. I have to learn it all now. And so while I was taking that course, I was also learning everything I could, everything that I could find online. And I happened upon a couple of other teachers, both of whom were students of this founder. Well, they had essentially kind of, spun off and developed their own human design programs. And of course, human design is truly, for me at least, like the most accurate self-illumination system I've ever found. It's very technological. It's very mystical. It's full of data and information. And it's also full of, evidence, frankly, that it works. I have now encountered countless people who are studying, in various, various levels of study in the system, from, the people who are now writing the books and leading, the courses in this community, to the people who are finding it, today. And each and every day, there are more and more people finding human design. And what essentially it does, it allows, once you kind of learn how to read this human design, this blueprint, this energetic blueprint, or what we call the human design body graph or chart. If you can read that, you can essentially help someone unlock their superpowers and completely unleash their genius. They have a much better understanding of how their energy works. And each of us are completely unique. Everyone in the human design community, whether they study old school or whether, they're taking all of the different, types and messages and teachers that are out there, everyone understands that human design, first and foremost, is an experiment, and that you're here to essentially live out your experiment. So if there's something that you come across within the system of study that does not resonate, you set that aside. It's not necessarily, it's not this thing that you put on like a suit, like you do with certain other, strengths-based systems. There are no necessarily hard and fast rules. And, whether you want to follow, the energetic blueprint that, you exhibit, that you express or not, is completely your choice. And again, it's yours to experiment with. And we're each of us unique and individual. And that is the whole point of the system, is the individuation of each person, so that they can live as their most authentic self. They can live as fulfilled as they possibly can. Notice I didn't say happy and joyous, because again, one thing we definitely know about the human condition and the design is that, a part of our journey is learning and challenge. And I will put a big caveat in here: it is not suffering. So we're not designed, or we're not here to suffer, but we are here to meet challenges and overcome obstacles. And our blueprints, there are little secrets encoded in each person's energetic blueprint in their chart that tells them exactly how to get through those in a way that's aligned for them. I can actually look into someone's body graph, into their chart, and advise them on what might be aligned for them in the way of sales and marketing for their business, what might be aligned creativity strategies for them, what their biggest strengths, how they're designed to communicate. We can look deeply into the business side of it, deeply into the individual or personal side of it. And then there are also ways to look at charts in connection with other people, whether it's a married couple, a business partnership, just significant other, a potential life partner, friends, a grandchild, and a grandma. We can even look at charts and see how their relationship plays out energetically. So it's a really cool system in so many ways.
It is so cool. And I'm just remembering back to, we connected, we were kind of given a little assignment from the coach that was leading the boot camp that we both randomly signed up for. And so we got on a Zoom to do this assignment, which was incredibly valuable. And then kind of went a little deeper into, okay, so what is that you do? Because we both kind of have these weird titles of neuro coach and human design. And so we kind of shared a little bit about it. And then you offered me a free human design reading. And I'm kind of, in the back of my head, I'm like, I have no idea what this is, but she seems like a pretty cool chick and she's not like some crazy wacko. So what's it going to hurt? Let's do it. Sure. And then
Little did you know.
and I think I'd maybe heard the term a time or two, or like you had said something in the group that you were human design and people were, oh gosh, oh, that's so cool. I love human design. I'm like, okay, people out there are loving this and asking questions about this, and I don't know anything about it. And so for that reason alone, I wanted to know enough that if I had a client that asked me about it, I could say, here's a little bit that I know, and here's the person that you should go contact to go deeper with, right? And give them to you, connect them with you. And so when we got there and you pulled up my body graph, and I was just looking at it, I'm like, what in the world is this? And so again, those subconscious thing, this is weird. This is different. I don't know if I like this. I don't know if I want to listen to what she has to say. Like this might go against something that I've been taught or exposed to before, because that's what our brain does. If it's
Absolutely.
new and different, it's perceived as unsafe, and then you try and protect yourself. But I know that about my brain. And so I push through. I'm safe. I'm in my own house. I'm on a Zoom. Like nothing bad can happen. I'm just learning about something for the sake of learning. It's 30 minutes of my life, and then I'll move on. And the things that you were able to tell me, I was like, it was so, number one, like spot on, and then validating, like, because you have the questions in the back of your head. Well, I always wanted to be an educator, and I really feel called to do this like coaching entrepreneurial thing. But is that even aligned with what I'm supposed to do? Am I trying to like force like this thing that I'm not? And like everything you were saying, I was like, oh my gosh, I see where I was supposed to go. I see where I'm where I need to be. And I also see that this other crazy stuff in the back of my mind that I tell myself, oh, you're not worthy of that. You can't do that. You can't accomplish that. I see that it's mixed in there. It's part of who I was created to be. And that was just so eye-opening. And then how you're bringing it in and bringing your knowledge into the membership and giving master classes. And so I know you're doing like a productivity series and a human design series, and I'm keeping up with both, because if any of the members happen to ask a question, I want to at least be able to be like, oh, go watch this replay. Like I know where that's answered at. um, and
Exactly.
but yeah, so it's fascinating to know, okay, so based on this, here's a great way that you could connect with your audience. Here's a great way that, sale isn't necessarily the word I'm looking for, but, here's something I'm meant to be sharing about, and all the things that were aligned with which of my centers were open and closed, and all the words. I don't have all the vocabulary down pat yet, but
close enough.
yeah. Like when you read, I'm like, those are the things I love teaching about. Those are the things when somebody's like, hey, could you do a lunch and learn on this? I'm like, heck yes, I can. I've already got like 6 slide decks made. Let's put them together in a new fun way. So it's just
Exactly.
fascinating to me. And I love being able to learn more about it from you. And I'm so just thrilled that it's able to be part of the membership, and that we are bringing in just different areas of expertise, because if it was just me, like I would do the best I could. But there's only so much I know and so much that I can offer. And so I love that, we're bringing in you, and we're going to be bringing in other like guest speakers and guest coaches and experts, and just the amount of value that we're able to provide is mind blowing. And in my
I
own selfish
agree.
way, being able to also access the
Exactly.
amazing
No, I
value.
am exactly. I feel like I'm getting as much value as I'm
Yeah.
providing, at least, if not tenfold.
Yeah.
Even as your co-coach in this venture. So yeah, no, I feel, again, like honored that I get to share what I've, accumulated and learning so far. And some kind of exciting news is I was accepted into a level 4 human design reader training program, another certification.
Nice.
So I actually, we just got started this week. This is going to be months and months and months long. We go well into 2023. But I'm so thrilled that I'll be bringing this new knowledge that I'll be accumulating into the Create a Life You Love membership, and incorporating it into the masterclass series that I'm offering now. I can already start seeing where it's like, wow, even in our first week, I'm already expanding my level of knowledge and the amount of information that I know about human design is going to really, I feel like, take a quantum leap. And so I'm so excited. So yes.
Excited for you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I just found out that was a thing.
Amazing. Amazing.
Exactly. So yeah.
Again, with that lifelong learning.
Exactly. So yeah, this is like, yeah, this is the stuff I live for. For sure.
Oh, I love it so
Yeah.
much.
Learning new stuff and getting to share it.
Yes. It just, yeah, it fuels us, keeps us active. Like I'm not just, because I could easily be and have been at times earlier in my life, like where my excitement was, hey, I powered through 20 hours of Netflix this weekend. What'd you do? I'm a rock star. Like, look how much I accomplished. And now people are like, hey, have you seen such and such? I'm like, I don't even know what that is. Like
Exactly.
no,
What
I have no
is
idea.
that?
Like, no, I have
Dragon what?
okay, but I am watching that one.
Okay.
I'm like 2 weeks behind and there's only 3 out.
That
But
show.
there are
Right there with
exceptions. But in my defense, there are 3 out and I'm 2 behind. I've only seen one of the 3. So one of these days,
you'll get caught up eventually.
Right. Okay, so I am looking at the time and I do want to be respectful. Thank you for everyone that's joining us and hanging with us. One thing we are going to be asking our other people as they come on is a little bit about their like favorite thought readers, if they have any micro habits, routines, rituals, like what are the things that they attribute to their success. And Gwen, I know you talked about some already with kind of those you used the word
my
like
daily success ritual. Absolutely.
yeah.
Something that I'm sharing in our membership as a part of our productivity series is creating that daily success ritual. But yeah, I had to develop my own first and tweak it and get it just how I need it. And of course, I know it's ever evolving. And some days I don't get all the parts of it in, but yeah, there are definitely core activities that I really feel much better when I do.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, for me, my absolute go-tos are I wake without an alarm. I cannot stand the alarm clock. Even the nice like, oh, I'm going to wake up to like birds chirping or ocean waves. I can't even do that. So I wake with the sun, and I immediately roll out of bed and do 20 to 30 minutes of some form of yoga. Typically, I try to do something a little more active, just simply because when I sleep, I tend to actually accumulate sort of stress or anxiety. I think I have weird dreams. And so a part of that yoga practice is actually kind of wringing out that energy. And then straight from yoga, I go into meditation. And then I follow that with some EFT tapping. And then I will always, I make this very odd morning beverage. Actually, there's 2 different morning beverages. One's a hot and one's a cold. And my cold beverage, I jokingly call my liquefied salad. It's kind of weird. And then the hot beverage is a cacao-based concoction, but all wellness focused ingredients. And then I oftentimes will make extra of the cold one and share it with my husband. And then we'll always, have breakfast together. And of course, in the midst of that are the kind of typical self-care routines, the shower, the brushing of the teeth, all of those good things. But those are the things that I really feel like that I need to work in each day, and I feel so much calmer and productive, um, energized yet calm. Yeah, that's kind of like the feeling I like going into my day with.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I love that.
And yourself?
Well, I am, after you taught about building your personal success ritual in the productivity masterclass the other day, I've been having a lot of fun building and creating mine. I shared live when we were going over that with the members, how I kind of had a negative experience. Like I'd had such a great positive, it was so important to me for so long and such a part of my foundation of success and such a, I mean, basically I took it and those are the 10 chapters in my book. Like that, I mean, it was
Mhm.
just so big part of my journey. And then at some point, I'm not sure what all happened, but all of a sudden I had this like 30 thing checklist and it was very in my own head, I was perceiving it like, oh my gosh, I didn't get this done and I'm going to beat myself up about it. Like it was no
Mhm.
longer it was no longer aligned with what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it. There were things on that list that didn't align with me. I know DMing people is a strategy that works for many people. It is not aligned with me. And so forcing myself to start my day off like that, like just it
Yeah.
just didn't work. And so hearing from you a different approach of you get to figure out what are the activities, where in your day does it fit, when in your day does it start. Doesn't have to start at 5 a.m. And if it doesn't start at 5 a.m., you're not a loser and a failure and you're never going to be successful. Like these are the terrible, mean things I was saying to myself in my head.
Right.
And that's not productive. That's not healthy. And that's not how I'm going to be able to show up the way that I want to show up for myself, for my clients, just for my life in general. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that aspect of it and getting excited to get back into an aligned morning routine and not a
Nice.
one.
Yes, exactly. Something that makes you feel good. Again, the whole goal is to go into the day feeling as you want to feel
Mhm,
and only doing those things. It's like, okay, yeah, I've got too much here. I've
mhm.
got to lose some stuff.
Yeah,
As much as I, think I should
yeah,
do all of these things, yeah, what's actually aligned and what makes me feel good.
right.
Yeah, that should be really the goal.
Yeah. And it's,
Agreed.
yeah, that's part of the whole membership is what's aligned, what feels
Yes.
good. Because if it feels good, you're going to do it consistently enough to actually see the success within that
Yes.
strategy. Because there's lots of strategies out there. I've already mentioned the DM one, so I'm going to just roll with it for lack of time instead of trying to create a whole new example. But that is a strategy that works for many people. It works
Mhm.
for those who it's aligned with. Um, it wasn't aligned with me. And so therefore it didn't work because I did not do it consistently enough
Exactly.
for it to work.
Exactly. Yeah,
And
at that
so, yeah,
point,
it's
you're
that
dabbling. It's not a
against,
strategy. You're just, yeah, exactly. You're
yeah,
just forcing yourself. You dabble. It's never going to work. You're
no,
right.
yeah. So
Yeah.
whereas
And then you feel
podcasting,
terrible oftentimes doing it. Like you said, it doesn't feel right for you. You feel icky doing it or weird or,
mhm,
yeah, it just doesn't work with your energy. Yeah.
yes.
And as soon as you recognize that, back
Right.
away.
Yes. And that's been huge. Recognizing that and then giving myself the permission to say, there's something off here. This isn't working for me. So what does
Exactly.
work for me? And like with podcasting, I love this format. It lights me up. This is our 95th episode. Woo! Like
Oh my
we're gonna have to come
gosh.
up with something really exciting in 5 weeks for our 100th episode. But
Agreed.
so that kind of consistency, like it doesn't feel like work. It feels exciting. Like we're way over time right now because I just enjoy this format so much. So thank you for becoming a part of it. I am looking
Pleasure.
over at the chat and we have a Susan Wallen Jansen says, so great to see you again, Gwen. I love
Hey,
this discussion.
Susan.
Thank you both.
Aw, coming to us from Canada.
Hello.
Hi, Susan. So delighted that she made it.
Oh, I love it. Um, okay, so real quick, I want to make sure that everyone knows where they can connect with both of us, and we will make sure that we get all
Yes.
of those links in the description, show notes, wherever you're watching, listening to this from, so that you can go check it out, connect with us on your aligned platform. And
Yes.
yeah, So Guin, how can people connect with you?
So for me, I am actually going to, I put together a special offer today,
Ooh.
very simply, and of course I've lost the link. Hang on. Okay, so it's the bit.ly,
Okay.
and it's // get aligned with Gwen. So I'm going to copy that and add that. But this is, I actually created an Introduction to Human Design
Ooh.
masterclass. So this, I think, is a great place to kind of get to know me, and understand a little bit about what human design is all about. This is normally a $97 masterclass, but if you sign up with the link today, you'll get it free. And
Wow.
then, of course, my website is just my name, guinwhite.com. You can find me on Instagram or LinkedIn or Twitter under Guin White. And then on Facebook, I'm Coach Gwen. So
Perfect. And
those are the ways to connect with me, find me. But yeah, I would definitely love to give this gift to anyone who's really interested in learning a little bit more about human design and kind of getting one or two of the main foundational pieces. And then there are some materials and resources that go along with that masterclass that are really kind of fun to go through and give you just some little tidbits of information about your own design that you can kind of take into your day and incorporate as sort of a strategy.
love that. Thank you so much. It's a very generous offer. So I have put all those links in the chat in the Create a Life You Love community where we are streaming live. I will also get it in the replay notes and the show notes and all those things. So definitely go connect with Gwen, follow her where you are hanging out, and 100% take advantage of that offer because like she said, it's a $97 offer and she's generously offering it for free. So you might as well show up, learn something new if you're not already familiar with human design, and learn something about yourself potentially. And yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
Will be.
So yeah, for me, I am
Please.
Create a
Yes.
Life You Love
Where can we find
Coaching.
you?
Yes. Websites createalifeyoulovecoaching.com. You can find me on the Create a Life You Love podcast. The book is on Amazon, Create a Life You Love, 10 Healthy Habits to Transform Your Life Now. Got my Facebook business page is Create a Life You Love Coaching. Instagram is Create a Life You Love Coaching. So I'll get all those in the chat and show notes as well. But yeah, I'm on the, website, book, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, podcast. And I always love to offer just a 30-minute clarity call. I am very upfront with it is not a sales call. We're not going to spend 30 minutes of your time with me convincing you that you should hire me for whatever reason. It is a 30-minute clarity call. Let's see who you are, where you're at, what you want, get you some clarity, leave with at least one action step. And I believe if I serve in that way, things pay it forward. It will either serve you so that you can go out and serve someone else, which is the biggest pay it forward, or you may choose to continue being in my realm and maybe at some point join the membership or just show up consistently to things like this and learn. Or maybe will send a referral my way that will also do one of those things. So love connecting with people on the clarity calls. Have also made some amazing connections on those, and many people that do clarity calls end up being a podcast guest because as they share their vision, I'm like, you're amazing, you're doing such amazing things, come be on the podcast, like we've got to share this, like people need to know about you. So it's so much fun. But yes,
Agreed.
yeah. Okay, so all the links have been in the chat. We're all caught up on chat comments and questions. So anything else you want to add in today, Gwen?
I just want to once again thank you so much for this fantastic opportunity to help with your podcast, to become a partner with you in the Create a Life You Love membership, and to really start becoming an ambassador for Create a Life You Love. And I think, what a perfect title. You could not have picked a better book title. It's such a beautiful message and a really cool brand.
Well, thank you. It's one of those, first I decided I was going to do a YouTube channel, and then I figured out quickly that was not aligned. And then there came the book. But as I was on a walk trying to think, what do I call this YouTube channel? It just like hit me, Create a Life You Love. And I was like, oh, I'm sure that's already taken, but no, it wasn't. And so here we are. But yes, so thank you for that. And just thank you, everyone, for joining us on today's very, very special episode of the Create a Life You Love podcast. We did go over, and so thank you so much for your grace and understanding, since this was a special episode. And yes,
and we hope that you got some value from this episode, that you had at least one amazing takeaway. And if you did, we would ask that you please share the Create a Life You Love podcast with someone else that you think might get something from it. Also, we would love it and ask that you leave a podcast review, which is so appreciated and so important for us. You can quickly and easily do that from any device by grabbing the link that we will leave in the comments and the show notes. It's essentially the ratethispodcast.com, and the / is CALYL, which stands for Create a Life You Love. So we ask that you share your feedback, your comments, and of course, share the podcast itself with anyone that you think would enjoy it.
absolutely. And so next week, I'm very excited to bring on Paige Salak, and she is an amazing, gifted social media manager, copywriter, content creator who helps coaches and online business owners skyrocket their brands so they can make a massive impact that they are destined for. She's absolutely brilliant. I cannot wait to introduce you to her. And spoiler alert, if you follow me on social media, you already know how amazing her work is, because she does all my social media pretty much.
Absolutely.
Oh man, finding her has been a godsend. She was able to take all that from me. Like, we worked together a little bit, and then she runs with it and has freed up so much time so that I can live in my zone of genius and make the impact I'm designed for, because writing social media posts wasn't part of it.
And she is, as you said, brilliant at it, as well as so many other things, social media. And I hope you don't mind me sharing, but anyone who's a part of the Create a Life You Love membership will have the benefit of a Paige Salak masterclass coming soon. She's going to be our guest and sharing about social media and marketing. So I can't wait for that one myself, because I need help in this arena.
Absolutely. Yes, we're all ooh, so excited for that one. Yeah.
Exactly. And speaking of, you can find us in the Create a Life You Love community on Facebook, or catch it on your favorite podcasting platform. So in Facebook, just do a search for Create a Life You Love community, and you'll find us there. And of course, if you're looking on any podcasting platform, just look for Create a Life You Love. You'll find it.
You will. So we will be in the same time, same place next Tuesday with Paige. We hope to see you there. Enjoy the journey. All right. Thank you so much for listening to both part 1 and part 2. We have so many guests lined up and ready to serve you and bring amazing content and value. So buckle up. Season 4 is going to be pretty fun. Thank you for listening to the Create a Life You Love podcast. We would love to hear from you about your biggest takeaways. Share them with us on Facebook or Instagram at Create a Life You Love Coaching. If you love this episode, be sure to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It's very much appreciated. If you're ready to build aligned and sustainable momentum without overwhelm and burnout, we invite you to apply for the Create a Life You Love membership on our website, createalifeyoulovecoaching.com /membership. That's it for now. Enjoy the journey.